Hello everyone. Today we're going to present for the project for the gender and fruits. So we are the blueberry group, including Iris Zhang, Yuwen Xu, and Hai Wang. So here is our content, which includes six parts. The first is the background and hypothesis. The second is the study participants, setting, and data used. The third is the methods following the results. And last but not the least are the interpretations and conclusions and the reference list.
And I'm Yvonne in High E. The first part is my part, the background and hypothesis. So first, the background. We searched six reliable resources. For the first one, the six resources explore gender differences in fruits and vegetable, which consumption, which is F and V. A study reviews that boys eat less fruits and vegetables than girls, with 81% of the gap from preference differences, along with perceived accessibility. These drives most of the difference, emphasizing preference improvement to narrow it. Another resource stressing assessing fruits and vegetable intake trend is the key for public health. And fruit and vegetable rich diet and low chronic diseases risk and add weight management. A college student linked fruit intake to resident hot living, breakfast consumption, and efficiency. And self-efficacy only predict women's vegetable intake. And also, a theory of planned behavior study find women eat over 3 cups of fruits and vegetables daily, but men under 3, with better attitude and perceived control. But finally, a global study and Finnish questionnaire study confirmed women consume more vegetable and fruits more than men, and higher education corrected with greater fruit and vegetable intake. And our hypothesis is female young adults will consume more total fruit than male young adults because women generally have more favorite attitude, healthier dietary behaviors, and stronger perceived control over their diet compared to the man.
So here is my part. The study participants, setting, and the data used. For the study participants in the setting, the ORA project used data from the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, which had the shorter name for the NHANES, presented in the 2017 to 2018, and the random sample of 50 US young adults aged from 18 to 24 years who completed two 24-hour diet recalls were selected. So for data used, for analysis, only the following variables were retained: the participant ID, the sex, the self-reported diet health, and number of meals not home prepared in the past 7 days, the number of meals from fast food, including a pizza, in the past 7 days, and the number of ready-to-eat foods in the past 30 days, which is like a month, and also for the frozen meals and pizzas in the past 7 days, and the herd of the MyPlate app and the main meal planner and preparer, including also for the biological variables like the BMI, the added sugars, dietary fibers, total fat, total fruit, total vegetables, and whole grains. And for our methods, our data were split into two spreadsheets by sex, filtered for the ages, including their age range from 18 to 24, and is clean for missing values. To test the relationship between the sex and the fruit intake, the mean total fruit consumption was calculated for males and females, and to examine explanatory factors, two mechanisms were operationalized. So first is our healthier dietary behaviors, which is like calculated through the groupings for the meals not home prepared, meals from fast foods and pizzas, ready to eat foods, for the meals and pizzas, BMI, added sugars, dietary fibers, total fat, total vegetables, and whole grains. And for second is the perceived control over diet. The averages were completed for the self-reported diet health and my plate awareness. So it has two answers, including a yes and no. And this is the same for the main meal planner and preparer. So the means were calculated through the average function, and yes or no variables were tallied with the count and count if to obtain the totals and percentages. So for all the calculations were documented through the spreadsheets.
The fourth part is the results. I want to restate our research hypothesis is that female young adults would consume more total fruit than males. Our testing data supports this trend, which is 0.764 cups for females' average fruit consumption compared to 0.722 cups for males, with a difference of 0.042 cups. Although the difference is relatively small and not statistically significant, it aligns with this hypothesis. And other dietary indicators also showed similar results, such as females had higher average vegetable intakes and dietary fiber intake than males. Also, females held a greater advantage in being the primary household meal planner or preparer, and in having heard of the My Plate dietary guidelines. So collectively, these outcomes indicate the trend that females in this sample exhibited slightly higher levels of healthy eating behaviors. Then is the interpretation and conclusion. So in conclusion, one possible explanation relies on behavioral differences, which is females tend to be more attentive to healthy dietary habits, corresponding with existing research articles. Theory of plant behavior explains gender difference in fruit and vegetable consumption. In the other article, why do boys eat less fruit than vegetables than girls? And the other explanation involves social factors. Females are more frequently undertaking responsibility for meal planning and preparation, therefore increasing the awareness and actual fruit consumption. While an association between gender and fruit intake was observed, the gap was so small that it cannot be statistically significant to definitively establish a cause and effect relationship. Therefore, the limitations for our study include small difference ranges, limited sample size, and failure to control for potential variables such as educational and cultural backgrounds. So, future research should be based on a larger and more representative samples and control for social factors to better verify the conclusions. And moreover, our further exploration could examine how cultural and socioeconomic conditions moderate gender differences in specific dietary behaviors. And this is the reference list for our research. Thank you for your watching.